We're here today with a good friend of mine, Doug Wilkins, here visiting for the MD&M West show, and made a trip out to Beyond Medical today. I'm going to chat with Doug a little bit about balloons and learn a little bit about the medical device industry, and hopefully we can get some good Balloon U discussion. So, always good to see you, my friend.
Great to see you.
Always good to see you. So, you know, one of the things, you know, for me, I would love to have you kind of take me back to your first experience with balloons. Part of my career was to learn balloons from you when I was in my 20s. So how did you first come across balloons?
When I came out of, University of Lowell, Massachusetts, I was a plastics engineer. So I worked at American Hospital Supply at the time. And basically I was more focused on doing extrusions, and then when I transferred to advanced cardiovascular systems, they needed balloons. And one of the things I was used to was making tubing, making injection molding things, and then I started on balloons. And I learned through Brian Piero as well as Brian Beam.
Okay.
And was able to use their contact information and be able to learn how to basically blow polyester balloons.
Yep.
And then as we continue to grow and as we continue to develop things, I got in focus with Nitin Matani on extrusion, and we were getting, honestly, our butt kicked by CR Bard.
USCI.
Yeah, USCI. We're getting our butt kicked because of the fact that they had polyethylene and nylon balloons, and our balloon was low pressure, didn't do anything. And Nitin came to me one day and he said, "Is there any way you can work on our side?" And I said, "Yes." And I spent the next 2 months basically trying to make linear low density polyethylene balloons.
Right.
And lucky to me, I found one that really worked in his shop. And he was able to test it, and it actually ended up beating up Bard.
Yeah, it's obviously where you and I met. So,
Yeah.
I mean, just kind of going back a little bit is, you know, I somehow convinced my recruiter and my boss to hire me, because I really was not
John Geyser.
at all qualified. John Geyser. I was absolutely not qualified for the job that I signed up for when I was 20-something.
Yeah.
And the only reason I was successful was because my lab bench happened to back up to your lab bench. That's the only reason I was successful, because I had
I don't believe that, but
I had no clue how to design a balloon, how to blow a balloon, and John Geyser decided to hire me to do a thermal balloon for a project we were working on with Duke University.
Yeah.
So you were incredibly gracious in teaching me as a 20-something where to find my mold supplier, where to find my extrusion supplier, what linear low density polyethylene was, what PET was. I mean, I had absolutely no clue. I came with a degree from Arizona State University in bioengineering.
Yeah.
I knew nothing about polymers. I don't know how I got the job at ACS, but somehow we got put in the same group. And sometimes life just sort of takes us places, right? To this day, I don't know how ACS decided that they were going to give Dan Kasprzyk a job in a R&D role at a very, very critical startup company. And we got to work with some really, really smart people over the time when, I mean, you could always get information, but like anything, it's competitive, right? So not everybody wanted to give up the information you needed because they were fighting for project resources. I was fighting for project resources, but I remember specifically having a lab bench that backed up to Doug Wilkins, and I got to learn how to do I mean, you told me where to go find Gary Farlow, where to go to the extrusion department, how to get the material, how to get the stuff to blow. I mean, I had no idea what I was doing, but I mean, I was interested in learning and working as hard as I could as a 20-something, because I mean, that's what we did as 20-somethings. We figured out how to make stuff work.